The story here is yet again injury. Joel Embiid exiting stage right in the first quarter. At the conclusion of the first quarter there, he had a sore knee, and he's a finalist. He's not going to win the MVP, but Joel Embiid, a finalist for that award. He played only 11 minutes. That's it. And then into the locker room he went. He tossed in the sponge. He had 8 points and 6 rebounds. And now the question is, will Embiid come back and play again for Philadelphia anytime soon, or is he going to be out for an extended period of time? So let us discuss the question. How concerned should the 76ers be with the MVP finalist, Joel Embiid, going forward? So it's the difference between actually having a shot at winning the East and being a total afterthought. So obviously this is a big old deal. We've got the warning label, future attractions, and bingo card. And we will tie all of these things together. Now, Joel Embiid was stomping all over the Wizards in this particular series. He was averaging better than a point per minute on the court. I mean, it's just a domination situation. And then he fell down. If you didn't see the play, he fell down on the baseline there, got into it with one of the Lopez brothers there. He got up, and sure enough, he was wincing in agony. And he was leaning over, and then he finally limped off the court. And where have we seen this before? The ghost of Christmas past. The ghost of Christmas past is back. Now, Joel Embiid, very loquacious order of the NBA. He's also got a warning label. And it says, handle with care. Handle with care. Now, Embiid's reputation precedes him when it comes to the injury. He's not quite at the Anthony Davis level of fragile, but he's not far away. Now, Doc Rivers, in the immediate aftermath, the soon-to-be former Sixers coach, Doc Rivers, just give him some time, he'll be gone. Doc Rivers was coy with the media after the game, saying that he didn't know whether or not Embiid would be able to play in the next game. It was described by the Sixers as right knee soreness. It's a rather vague description, and Joel Embiid has suffered all kinds of injuries. He's bruised his knee 5 times in his NBA career, and every time he has bruised his knee, he has missed at least one game. He has missed time every other situation similar to this, if the Sixers are telling us the truth here. And so Philadelphia, playing with matches is what they're doing here. Every extra game you play, the more problems that pop up. And by the way, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the tinfoil hat conspiracy guy, because the way Joel Embiid got up and the way he was grabbing his lower back, kind of his tuchus, it reminded me of when I injured my tailbone. And I had a bad tailbone, and it looked like a similar situation. Now, the Sixers are claiming it's a knee injury, and maybe it is, but it looked like something in the tailbone area. And if you've ever injured your tailbone, you know that you don't come right back. I don't care how much ice you get and how many magic potions you put on that, you're not coming back right away. Now, part B of this. So late in the fourth quarter, the Wizards employed the Simmons strategy. And that's a part of this story. Embiid's injury is one part. The game was still within grasp for Philly to win it. And Ben Simmons, a noted stumble bum at the foul line, he gets that flop sweat across his brow when he goes up to the charity stripe, and it's like stepping in dog doo-doo every time he goes to the line. And Scott Brooks, who's a lame duck himself there, the coach of the Wizards, his contract is expiring. He is not guaranteed to be back at all in Washington as the coach. Now, he did take advantage, and that is a preview with the Simmons of coming attractions. Because the deeper Philadelphia goes in the postseason, the bigger his problem becomes for the Sixers. Simmons was 0 for 9 in foul shooting coming into the night. He was 0 for 9 in the series. He was 1 for 3 before the Simmons went into effect. And he then made 1 out of 2 attempts every time he went to the line after that. So he ended up 5 for 11. He missed 6 out of 11 foul shots. And so forget your popcorn, forget your peanuts. The Sixers and the people that like that team and follow that team are going to need Pepto-Bismol watching Ben Simmons. It's ulcer-inducing. And I don't care what Doc Rivers is saying. I heard this crap from Doc Rivers when he coached the Clippers, and he was buttering the biscuits of Ben Simmons this, Ben Simmons that, and he's great, blah, 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 blah. Ben Simmons is a liability at the end of games. He can't shoot from the outside. He apparently has the yips at the foul line. He was forced to hide while the Sixers had the ball in the final couple minutes of the game. Ben Simmons had to hide. He wasn't even a decoy. He was an afterthought. Now, listen, the guy gets a fair amount of assists and rebounds and all that, but if you're making $30 million a year and you've got to hide in plain sight, the guy's shooting 25% from the foul line in the series. Last I checked, I don't think anyone is guarding him at the foul line. That's the one thing anyone could conceivably do in professional sports, right? That's the thing, right? I mean, if you think about shooting a foul shot, there's no one guarding you. You're by yourself. You're at the line, and you just merely have to make the shot. And anyone could conceivably do that skill. Anyone could do that. Anyway, here's Doc Rivers, who's passionately defending the player there, Ben Simmons, against this nasty media.
You want me to take Ben Simmons off the floor? I will pass on that one. He's pretty good, so I'll pass on that suggestion.
Yeah, so there's Doc. You can tell. No, I know that voice of Doc Rivers. That's Doc who's drowning. That's the voice of Doc Rivers who's drowning. He's like, you know what? This reporter's right, but I can't say that. I got to stand by my player. He stinks. It reminds me, I saw DeAndre Jordan, right, in the Lob City days of the Clippers. DeAndre Jordan, fine player. He's still hanging around barely in the NBA as a backup with Brooklyn. But DeAndre Jordan's a guy you had to take him off the court at the end of games because Hacka DeAndre, he couldn't get it done. And Ben Simmons, the guy's 25%. I thought guards were, by definition, better offensive players from the outside from shooting or just foul shots. My goodness. All right, here's more from Doc Rivers again. He's upset with the negativity in Philly.
You guys keep this Ben Simmons narrative alive, which to me is freaking insane, how good this guy is and all the things he does. Ben is not a 40-point guy. It's not what he does. He does other things for your team. And I just don't understand why that's not sinking in our city. Yeah. Everybody on the team doesn't have to be a scorer to help the team. Ben scores, but Ben creates scoring for us. That's what he does. So, if I'm Ben at some point, I'd get tired of it. I just would, because he's just too good, and he does so many good things for this basketball team. And I keep saying it. Celebrate him. Celebrate all the stuff he does well. We don't do that enough.
Yeah. Let me translate that. Kiss this man's ass. Go to center court, pull his pants down, and kiss Ben Simmons' ass. That's essentially what Doc Rivers wants. I guess Doc's used to, he's been he was in LA for so long, he's used to the mindset of, you worship the ball players and all that. In Philadelphia, it's like, well, wait a minute, this guy's making $30 million a year. He can't make a foul shot consistently, make 2 for 2 from the line. And the only offensive game he has is within 5 feet of the basket. You get him outside the painted area, and he's a complete waste of a body on the court, and it's really 5-on-4 when Simmons is on the outside. And Doc, the louder he bangs the table, the more the media is right when it comes to Ben Simmons. And Doc knows that deep down. He knows this is a problem. But he's got to go with it, right? Ben Simmons is there, and they're sticking with Ben Simmons. And so through all his warts and all his problems, they got to keep going. All right, last word here. So the Wizards winning this particular game, this random NBA playoff game on a Monday night, and Russell Westbrook had a triple-double, and that got a lot of attention. That's a misleading performance by Russell Westbrook, who continues to be playoff Russ. And Washington's not going to get swept, and they're very unlikely to win this series. Even if Joel Embiid's out, Philadelphia will win one more game. Their problems will come later on in the playoffs. But Russell Westbrook took 19 shots. He made 3 of them in this particular game. And now, in the 4 games against Philly, Russell Westbrook is shooting less than 33% from the floor. Less than 33%. Impressive. Unless it's not. Now, we also had another fan interjecting themselves into a playoff game. The beat continues. It took place in the third quarter. This was a wild one. All right, 76ers Wizards. The ball's in play. The teams are coming down the court, and whee! There goes a fan running. He ran down, and he continued the trend. The opening round of the playoffs have been titled Sports Fans Gone Wild. And if you pull out your bingo card of fan shenanigans, you can now add the Wizards court crasher to your card. Some Yahoo decided to sprint down mid-court, right in the middle part of the court there, now running down the aisle, and got all the way out to the rim. He tried to touch the rim and was tackled by a would-be defender. Great open field tackle by the security guy. The fan was then apprehended by the Capital One Arena police. They have the special police there, breaching the court. Not attempting to breach the court. He definitely breached the court. There's no attempting to breach the court. And the arena police then got in there, and the Wizards said they will pursue criminal charges with the D.C. Police Department. So that adds on the bingo card. You also have your popcorn throwing 76er fan. And Russell Westbrook acting like that was flying shrapnel. You had the loogie flying at the Knicks game, although not hitting Trae Young. The Celtic water bottle tosser, that happened the other night, which is leading to criminal charges against the Celtic fan. And if convicted on all charges, a lengthy jail sentence, which will not be the case. They'll work out some kind of plea deal on that. And let's also not forget what I believe is the top moment, which didn't even happen in basketball. If you want to talk about fan knuckleheads on your bingo card, let's go to baseball. Remember that naked rain delay guy that ran onto the tarp there at the Nationals game and ran inside, he slid into the tarp roller? There have been a handful of these things that have popped up. We had beer flying everywhere at Wrigley Field. There was a home run in the Padre-Cub game, and Will Myers of the Padres was covered in beer. Are they going to bring criminal charges against the Cub fan for spilling the beer on Will Myers there? I'm not sure about that. I know if it was the NBA, they'd want criminal charges. But listen, these things are getting a lot of attention, and it's one of those things. It's a self-fulfilling deal here where you keep talking about them, and everyone grabs their pearls and freaks out on the NBA television programming, and they've got to put a stop to this. And it's already against the rules to run on the court. It's against the rules to throw stuff at players. So what exactly are you going to do, right? Because the people that are doing it obviously don't do a cost-benefit analysis, and if they do, they're looking for some social media clout. It's a powerful drug. And there's always going to be a percentage of knuckleheads that are going to be like, hey, listen, there's a mass gathering, and I want to make it all about me, and I want to have Charles Barkley yap about me on TV, so I'm going to run down on the court. I'm going to throw this, that, the other thing. But the idea that you can get away with it, there's no chance. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. There are more cameras on you when you go to a sporting event than when you walk into a bank. And so you're not getting away with it.